love you. Give me a reason to be a woman. I just want to be a woman. Tales from the Spirit, Episode 1, Introduction. Lego. Before Halloween became candies, costumes, and thriller movies, it was a time of ritual and ceremony. It was a time the air stood still and the veil between the living and the dead grew thin. It was a time of remembering the sacred art of honoring the unseen instead of fearing it. Welcome to Tales from the Spirit. In the diaspora, we overstand this spiritual energy because we're born remembering that the spirit world is never far. The Celts called it Samhain, the church called it All Hallows Eve, and in the Caribbean, Latin America, and in Africa, it has always been a veil moment of visitation, remembrance, and respect. In this Tales from the Spirit series, I'm going to deep dive into 5 types of spirits that we acknowledge in the diaspora. Now, these types of spirits are going to be broken down into ancestral, elemental, we have restless and wandering, we have low level, and we have elevated. Okay. Before we get into it, 3 things. 1, this series is going to require an absolutely open mind. So those skeptics, I see you still lurking. I see you. Make sure you send us one in that private group chat on WhatsApp or Discord. 2, this series is going to provide public knowledge, okay? And 3, please note that no secrets will be revealed from our cultural practices. So that means that 1, I'm protecting our traditions, and 2, I am protecting the safety of the public. Oh, okay. There's a big misconception in the Western world that Halloween is this dark, evil day. And I'm going to debunk that and give some truth. First, let's talk about the history of Halloween. So Halloween is actually an Irish and Scottish holiday that started in Ireland about 2,000 years ago. Samhain is the Irish name for November. So what they did in Ireland, right, is that they took turnips and they carved faces in the turnips and they put either a candle or a coal. I believe later on they used other root vegetables, but they put these turnips in the windows, and the purpose of it was to ward away evil spirits, demons, and fairies, because they believed, similar to the diaspora, that this was the day that the veil was very thin, so evil from the underworld walked amongst us. And to go even further, the reason that they did the root vegetables with the faces and the candle is because there's an Irish folklore that a man named by Stingy Jack tricked the devil. He was a bastard blacksmith, and when he tricked the devil, he was actually punished, where he had to wander around with just carved turnip and the candle. So in commemorance to him, the Celts would do this tradition, and then on top of it, they would also leave out candy to basically sweeten or appease the spirits that are walking amongst them. And 3, they would dress up in scary costumes. So not daddy issue costumes and not superhero costumes. They're actually very scary costumes, and the purpose of this was to blend in with the evil spirits, fairies, and demons that they believed were present during this time. So that is some history on Halloween. So when the Irish migrated to America, and I have a very good video on my YouTube, The Spirits of Central Park, please watch this, because the Irish and the blacks during that time were like this for a very, very sad reason, but reason that everyone should know. It's true history that's been fluffed up and swept under the rug. So to bring it back, when the Irish migrated to America, they brought these traditions very similar to St. Patrick's Day, but they got westernized. So that's why we have the jack-o'-lantern. It's from Stingy Jack. They called it Jack of Lantern. That's why we have the candies, and that's why we have the costumes. As you can see, it became very commercialized, and it became a money-making holiday, but its origins are in Ireland, and it's from the Irish and the Scottish, and the intention was actually to protect, so warding away negativity, and to appease. It has no evil or black magic or dark connotation. That narrative has been misconstrued, unfortunately. Also, orange and black is associated with Halloween because during these times they would do fire rituals, right? Because they did honor those that have passed. And during these fire rituals, you have the fire against the black sky. And then because this time happened around November, for them it was the new year. So because black is associated with death and mourning, and then they had the fire and the autumn leaves on the tree, that's why orange and black is associated with Halloween. So, Shlante to my Irishmen. Pinkies up, you know how we do. Whoa! Yerba mate. I love Irish people. I love Irish people. One of my ex-boyfriends was Irish, American Irish, and then I had an actual Irish boyfriend from Belfast, and I worked in an Irish pub, Galway Hooker, in Manhattan. It was in, oh my gosh, not Meatpacking. It's missing me. I can't remember, but it was a very popular bar. 3 floors, 2 bars, good times. Lots of money was being made. Anywho, let's bring it back. And a fun fact, in Ireland, they eat something called blood pudding. And in Guyana, we eat something called black pudding. It is literally the same dish. Same dish. And I feel that there was some type of Irish settlement in Guyana. I haven't gone down the wormhole yet, but it makes sense because one of my last names is Irish. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Let's bring it back. All right. Next, we have Mexico. So in Mexico, they have Dia de los Muertos. This, one of my goals is to go to Mexico to experience this. It is a beautiful, beautiful celebration where they have ofrendas, which are basically altars, very similar to our Bovida in Espiritismo, where they honor those who have passed. They have this beautiful dog that they hand paint with dog-friendly paint, and in addition, they have these beautiful outfits that are so colorful, very, very similar to our Egungun festival in Nigeria. That's part of the Yoruba religion. Do you see the parallel there? So beautiful. And then during this time, they have flowers, so they use marigold. So, spiritual tip, if you are initiated into an ATR, an African traditional religion, and you have a ancestor altar or Bovida, if you can't find white flowers, these marigolds, very, very, very good to have on your altar. As you see, I just bought it, so I'm going to cut it And I'm gonna get another set just to have around the house. But this orange color, it appeases our benevolent spirits because it is the color of orange. So we have joy, happiness. It's a very high vibrational color. So this is the color we use for our spirits, and they do the same thing in Mexico. I love how there's so much alignment. We're more the same than different when it comes to these spiritual beliefs. So I feel that we all need to sit down with each other more and talk, because we'll be surprised how many, like, so many indigenous cultures do some sort of limpieza, so cleaning with spiritual waters. So many do. As you remember in my spiritual waters series, I talked about it. So sit down, break bread with people.
The world is filled with way too many bright people for us to still have the problems that we have in the world. It's going to be our shame, you know what I mean, that we don't sit together and create people who invest with thought and consideration and care to solve the world's problems. If we can do all these things that we do digitally, technologically, economically, we can feed people, we can educate people through poverty, we can solve the problems of poverty. Poverty isn't even something that should exist in this world at this point, but we have the ability now to see the resistance, acknowledge it for what it is, and go beyond it, and go past it. We have the answers. We have so many of the answers. We have the technology. We have the wealth. We just have to be willing to share it. And in order for us to do that, we have to do the work in and on ourselves so that we can be conduits of change and improvement for other people. Because that's really what it's about. We have the ability. I think it just takes courageous folks, you know, who are not afraid to see the new world that's on the horizon.
And you'll be surprised how much you have in common when it comes to your roots, and it can really bring people together, and it'll be less attacking and less like slander and gossip and hate, and just vibe it, man. Just trying to vibe. Okay. Next, in Haiti, they have the Fête Guide. So that's where they have drumming, music, dance, their spirit possession, and they're dealing with the deities Baran Samedi. Very, very, very powerful ceremony. This ceremony celebrates the spirits of the dead. I'm going to dive more into this in the end because Hollywood used this ceremony to depict something in film. So make sure you stick to the end because I'm definitely I'm gonna clear up. Actually, you're gonna have to stick within the series. I'm not gonna drop that ball in the introduction. I was stuttering. In the introduction, I'm gonna hold that baby for later in the series because it'll be more fitting. I want to dive deeper into it. However, lastly, in Afro-Caribbean spiritual practices, during this time, we believe the veil is very thin. It's very similar to the Celtics and to the Mexicans. So this is a time that we honor our ancestors. So we have our Bovida in Espiritismo, which is part of the ATR. We have our ancestor altars and all that jazz. So it's a time we refresh everything. So spiritual tip, if you don't know already, if you don't have elders, if you have these altars and bovidas, it's a time to refresh it. So new cloth, you know, move everything off, cleanse it, spiritual waters, fresh flowers. It should be looking mwah, chef kiss. And as you know, and for those who do not know, it's basically our church where we attend church. We sit in front of these altars in certain clothing. There's certain things we can and cannot do in the presence of these altars. So essentially, it's our church. That's why our homes are so sacred. Oh, okay. So that is the parallels across the world when it comes to Halloween, right? And just like God, Jah, Allah, Yeshua, Yahweh, the Most High, Supreme Being, God goes by different names, and Halloween goes by different names in different cultures, whether it's Dia de Muertos, whether it is Samhain, whether it is, I don't know too much about All Saints Day, but All Saints Day with the church, and so on and so forth, and all that jazz. It's no coincidence that in these different cultures, there's so many parallels. It just goes to show that outside of Western culture, the unseen isn't something to be feared. It is something to be honored, to be venerated, and to understand, overstand, and not fear. In Ifa, we have an Odu called Ogunda Osa. And Ogunda Osa teaches us that there is more power in us unifying as one versus being separate, because we are stronger together than apart. Another misconception I wanted to debunk. So Halloween has nothing to do with the Salem witch trials, right? The Salem witch trials happened in February 1962 in Salem, Oregon, and 19 witches were burned. God bless their souls. No one deserves to die. 19 witches were burned, and I believe it ended around like September. So it went from February to September. So it actually has nothing to do with Halloween, but because Halloween, people think of witches, they do assimilate it with. But I just wanted to know, I wanted you guys, you lovelies, to know that there is a separation. They are not correlated. Oh, okay. I have a snack. I have a Mexican snack. Oh, snacky! This is called pica goma. So they're tamarind gummies. You know, in the West Indies, we love our tamarind. Oh my God. Tamarind's so damn good. Okay, here we go. So I'm really excited about this. And it comes in these little packages, so small. Ready? It's taking me on a ride of flavor. It's juicy. It's making my mouth juicy. I like it. It's a lot of chewing. 7.5 out of 10. Okay. If you love my teaching style, do not hesitate to book me for my one-off spiritual guidance. So I have 30 minutes or 1 hour. Or if you want something more long-lasting, one-on-one, still over video, but where you can really get guided over a longer period of time, I have 1, 3, 6, and 12-month spiritual guidance programs. We go a lot more in depth, and you receive the full package. And if you have an emergency, you need to talk to me at the drop of a hat, you can book my emergency same-day spiritual guidance. The camera will be off because I'm 9 times out of 10 be busy because I take them pretty quickly. However, you will have my full attention. Oh, okay. Really good. Oh, wait, I probably shouldn't be talking and trying to record and eating this. Okay, wait. Okay, focus. Okay. You're going to want to watch this video to the end because I'm going to drop the 3 most important Orishas during this time, and this would be more for my devotees who have these Orishas, and to those who are unfamiliar with Ifa and are curious about what Orishas may be more prevalent during the time of Halloween. Where's my notes? Oh, I put my notes up here. Oh, okay. So, hello, governor. Okay. Now let's get into it. On every episode, or in every episode after this one, I'm going to be breaking down everything into 5 buckets. All right? So, first bucket, we're going to have the type of spirit found in the diaspora. Bucket 2, we're going to have the Hollywood tie-in, because these types of spirits show up in films. Yes, they do. And I know for a fact, directors and producers hire spiritual practitioners, legit ones, not Miss Cleo.
Hello, darlings. This is Miss Cleo coming to you live from our studio. And it is very special and commercial. I'll be taking calls and giving psychic readings live on the air.
Oh my goodness, would you look at that?
I can tell you things about the future that you'd never learn on your own.
Really?
So call me now.
I'm going to do that.
Operators are standing by. Oh, and we have our very first caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, is this Cleo?
Yes, baby, it is.
Oh, honey, you're the one that can see into the future.
Yes, darling, you got the right Cleo.
Oh, honey, can I ask you a question?
Run.
Was you working on September the 10th?
Well, yes.
Really? You didn't see anything strange gonna happen on that next day?
No.
Legit ones, to help them write the script, because there is a lot of truth to these films, but what they do is they dilute it, they mix it up, they fluff it up to make it more entertaining, and unfortunately sometimes it's demonized. They can make it demonized by exaggerating the darkness and not really explaining the story behind it, so to speak. All right, so I'm gonna have a Hollywood tie-in. This Hollywood tie-in's gonna be woo. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. And excuse me, let me turn around my notes. Next, it's gonna be bucket number 3 is going to be the Caribbean folklore. So there are stories to this. I know I've been told some stories from my grandma. So fun fact, I lived in Guyana for a year. I believe it was 3rd to 4th grade in Guyana. So I was in the school system in Guyana, really strict. And she didn't give me a lot of rules, right? So I got to be like a free spirit. I got to climb stuff, run stuff, no shoes, just woo, wild and free. I loved it. And she gave me a few rules. And one of the rules I'm going to share in the Caribbean folklore, because there were certain areas in elements in nature I could not visit, not even be close to it. And I listened. I always listen to my grandma, because grandma knows best. So yes, bucket 4 is going to be my personal experience. So I am an espiritista, right? That is a medium. Espiritistas go through training. So we're not just people like woke up one day like, oh, I see dead people.
I want to tell you my secret now. I see dead people.
In your dreams? While you're awake? Dead people like in graves and coffins?
We go through training, and we usually have elders that are guiding us, and like a muscle, it is trained and conditioned, and then after a certain amount of time, usually it's a little while, they take the training wheels off, but you still have support, and then you move further up in the hierarchy, so to speak. And Espiritismo actually was developed by Allan Kardec. I am a big fan of him. He is a Hasta native. So Hasta, for those who don't know in astrology, that falls within the Virgo constellation. I have my Venus in Hasta, and he is known for bridging the gap between science and spirituality. So he gives the science behind mediumship. You know, I love that. I love the science behind it, because low-key, I am a skeptic. I'm very spiritual, but I like to understand it. Like, but why? Like, I need to know the why. So the science really helps me shape the why, so that now I can teach it to you all so it's digestible. And the skeptics, take what you want and leave the rest. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Oh, okay. Next and last is going to be my spiritual prescription. As I said before, all of this is public knowledge. If you're going through one of these phenomenons, and I'm being serious, I'm keeping a buck. If you're experiencing one of these phenomenons, don't go on Google, don't go on Reddit, seek out a spiritual professional in person over video. No phone call. That's how you get scammed. Seek a trusted elder or a spiritual practitioner, particularly someone who's an espiritista, and make sure you can fact check them, because it's a very thin line when you're dealing with the spirit world. In this world, very, very thin line, and you want to make sure that the person you're dealing with isn't going through psychosis on their own. You want to make sure they're of sound mind and body. During this time, people who don't even believe in this tend to have dreams of those who have passed on, right? So if you are dreaming right now, during the Halloween period, that October period, November period, October, November, if you're dreaming of someone who has passed on, we consider that a spirit visitation. So please take note of what they are saying, what they are doing, the dream. I have all my clients, all my clients can tell you, I make them write down their dreams. I don't care. Don't put it in your phone, don't put it in your iPad. No, write that John down. Write it down. Write it down. There's a reason why. And I do have a one-on-one class to help with dream interpretation and to help you decode the omens and signs in dreams. I love doing it. So please take heed of what they are saying, doing, everything, and all that jazz, because it's a spirit visitation, and spirits don't just visit you for no reason, right? There's something they're trying to tell you and guide you through. So, okay. Let's get into the end of the video bonus tip. Before I get into it, super, super serious and important PSA. During this time, because Halloween has a negative connotation for the most part, please, 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 if you have black cats or black animals, keep them inside. During these times, troublemakers, for a kind word, use this opportunity to harm black animals because they believe they are evil. This goes back in history. It's not something new. So if you know there's black animals that are stray, if you can find a way to keep them in, they do have these shelters you can kind of get off of Amazon. I know it's kind of last minute, but yeah, just keep your eye out. It's unfortunate that people do stuff like that to animals. Not cool, but we all know spiritually, when you harm animals like that, it comes back to you in threefold, and it's not pretty. So, PSA, okay? Now let's get into this end of the video bonus tip. All right, when it comes to Ifa, we have 3 deities based on my knowledge and my studies, right, that are very prevalent during this time. So if you have these Orishas, you've received them in ceremony, right? They are consecrated icons that you received in ceremony. They cost an arm and a leg, but Ifa is not a poor man's religion, but it brings results. But it's not a poor man's religion. These sacred icons are a game changer. So, number 1 is 𝙭𝙧.
Code, and I'm here. You think doors open by chance? No. Every path, every crossroad you stand at, I see it. I am the keepers of the ways, the one who whispers when you doubt yourself, the one who laughs when you ignore the signs. You want a message? Then hear me clear. The road ahead is not blocked. It is waiting for you to choose. Do not sit at the crossroads trembling. Darling, pick your path, and I will walk before you, clearing the stones, unlocking the doors. But remember, child, I answer those who have the courage to move. If you ask for me, then know this. I am already here. And if I'm here, it means the way forward is ready. Step boldly. The key is already in your hand.
𝙭𝙧's domain is the crossroads, thresholds, the doorway, right? He has a lot to do with that. He's that intermediary intermarry. Ooh, I'm butchering this word. Intermarry between the spiritual realm and the living world. So please be careful when you're around crossroads, because the veil is very thin. You'll notice around the crossroads, which are roads that are traveling in all directions, that area, fights, car crashes, accidents, just tumultuous energy, not very high vibrational energy. So please be careful. Look 3 ways when you're driving, when you're walking, and all that jazz. And if you have received your warriors, so you received Mano de Rula or Kofa de Rula, just a bracelet, you should have your warriors. So take care of Ilegwa, okay? Take care of him. Talk to your elders, because you'll know why. Number 2 is Oya.
Imagine a goddess who commands the winds, summons storms, and walks between the living and the dead. Keep watching, because what you're about to hear about Oya Igbale might change the way you see life and death. Oya isn't just the Orisha of winds and transformation. She is the fierce guardian of the graveyard gates, the one who stands at the threshold between worlds. Known as Igbale, she protects the spirits of the departed and ensures the balance between ancestors and the living. Few know that Oya also controls the marketplace, symbolizing the constant exchange between life and death, beginnings and endings. She is both warrior and mother, feared and adored, unstoppable in her storms, yet tender in her protection. Without Oya, chaos would consume the passage between realms.
Oya's domain is the cemetery. So she is the Orisha that has to do with the marketplace, winds of change, and deals a lot with mediumship. So in a podcast interview I did a while ago, 3 years ago when I just moved here, I had mentioned that my grandma, growing up, she would go to this lady's house, and the lady would be wearing all white with a belt. And that belt actually has a lot to do with Oya. It's the 9 colors. And now, since it's been 4 years within Ifa, I believe. Now that I've studied and I understand more and I have a lot more experience, I realized that she was actually going to something called a misa. So a misa is a spiritual congregation where a certain number of people attend a spiritual mass, and it is where we communicate ritualistically to the spiritual realm. It has a lot to do with Allan Kardec. I think there's other modalities within Misa, I believe so, but I'm familiar with the Allan Kardec way, and I realized she was attending a Misa. So it feels very good to be full circle, because now I'm becoming that woman that she used to see. So I know my grandma's so happy. She's like, I know she's very proud of me. So, yeah. Number 3 is going to be Egungun.
What is Egungun? The Orisha Egungun may be described as a Yoruba masquerade or masked costumed figure. More specifically, Egungun is the archetype of the collective ancestry of a particular bloodline. It is a Yoruba masquerade that typifies the cult of ancestor veneration and acts as a vessel collectively embodied by the ancestors themselves.
Egungun is the Orisha of our ancestors. Ooh, what was that? Very similar to Dia de los Muertos, how they dress up. It's so similar. I actually wrote a blog post about this on my Patreon. The correlation and then the similarities between the Egungun festival and Dia de los Muertos. Please read it. It's very, very good. You can either download the post individually for as low as a cup of matcha tea latte. Join as a member for as low as a cup of matcha tea latte. Now back to Egungun. Egungun is Orisha of our ancestors. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this Orisha enough, but if you have been blessed to receive that in ceremony, take care of Egungun. Take care of Egungun, okay? Because we all have ancestors. So appeasing them only makes you move through life easier. Oh, okay. Lastly, if you do have any tree of these Orishas, they're consecrated icons, and they will be on shrines. We don't use altars. We use shrines for them. definitely find out what 𝙬𝙤𝙢 you need to prepare for them. It's usually something cooked for the most part. Cooking, in my opinion, is far better because that comes from the heart. The 𝙗𝙤𝙢 is going into the food. That's why in Caribbean culture, like when grandma's cooking and dancing and stirring the pot, the food just tastes better than everyone else. It's because grandma's putting her 𝙗𝙤𝙢, that love, that energy, that high vibration, that heart center into the food. So if you do have a choice whether to purchase food or cook the food for your Orishas. And lastly, refresh your Bovida, refresh your ancestor altar. I do have a Bovida and ancestor altar PDF guide you can download, print that bad boy out. I have broken down what you should be doing day by day. It's very, very small things that take no more than like 8 minutes, but I also use part of the principles we use within Espiritismo. So it'll be very, very good, and you can keep it forever. So it's a one-time download, and that's it. All right, so that is about it. I'm so excited for this episode. So even though Halloween has came and passed, we're now entering Scorpio season, right? So it is very timely, and this is Vedic. I'm a Vedic astrologer. I'm a student of Jyotish. So we're still going to have that scorpionic energy. So you will see more spooky season around the home. That's my set behind me, future film director. And I believe that is it. So that is all for now. Tales from the Spirit's gonna be popping, so make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe.